And the Vancouver Canucks lose 5-2 to the St. Louis Blues. You know what? Let's just do the review live. So I still don't know what I'm going to title this video. But in the last game against the Edmonton Oilers, I had said, it doesn't matter to me that they lost. It's the manner in which how they lost that was frustrating to me. So you would expect going into this game against the St. Louis Blues, who realistically you're going to be competing with more than Edmonton, more than Vegas. It's teams like the LA Kings, the Calgary Flames, the St. Louis Blues. Hell, you want to throw in Seattle, Anaheim, who else in the Central? Maybe Utah, or if they do anything, there's that. Those are the teams you're competing against. So the fact that they lost to Edmonton and the fact that they play Edmonton again in this month is not really much of a concern to me. It's the other games. You come back home against St. Louis. You have last change. And when I'm saying this, I'm specifically talking about Adam Foote. Adam Foote had a terrible game today. He got outcoached by Jim Montgomery. There was too many times where, for whatever reason, we had Atu Ratu and Braden Coots against Braden Shen and not against Bukestad and not against Pew Suter, which granted, Atu Ratu, his line with Kiefer Sherwood and Archie Baines were the Canucks' best line tonight. And to be fair, the bottom six for St. Louis, the Pew Suter line in particular with Snuggerud and Matthew Joseph, were also probably their best line. But if we're talking about quality of players, the St. Louis Blues top six didn't need to do anything tonight because the Canucks just they weren't much of a threat. You throw out the Pettersson line, which is Pettersson, DeBrusk, Besser, which started this game. And then you throw out the Hedel line, which is Hedel, Kane, and Garland. And then to end the second period, Adam Foote swaps Hedel and Elias Pettersson. Granted, I thought the Pettersson, Kane, Garland line created a lot of chances in the third period. However, that wasn't due to Elias Pettersson. That was more due to the other two guys. And I'm somebody who supports Elias Pettersson. I think that when he's on at his best, he is a top 10 center in this league. But we haven't seen that for 85 games now? He's making $11.6 million. He got benched towards the end of the period, second period, and he got put on a different line. You have this third line, which is Drew O'Connor, Braden Coots, Jonathan Lekromacki, who consistently, I know it's the NHL, I know there's tough matchups, but consistently I've seen them put in bad matchups. Braden Coots against McDavid. Granted, you're away, so that's fine. But at home, Braden Coots against Braden Shen. Why is that a thing? We're talking about one of the best two-way centers in the league. Well, there's Robert Thomas and Braden Shen, who are two of the best two-way centers in the league, going up against Braden Coots. I think Braden Coots is a fantastic player. He deserved to be on this team because of the preseason. But depending on the length of the Teddy Bluger injury, we're going to have to put Braden Coots in these situations, and he's just not up to the task. And that's not his fault. Jonathan Lekromacki, I said, deserved better after the Edmonton game. What did they do in this game to justify or rectify the fact that he wasn't out there for the 6-on-4? He wasn't on power play 1. He was on power play 2 for like 40 seconds. At the end of the game, the Canucks pull the goalie. It's 6-on-5. We have Kiefer Sherwood, who scored 2 goals, granted, so he absolutely deserved to be out there. We go back to the line that wasn't working with DeBrusk, Besser, and Pettersson. And then you have Hughes at the top, which is fine, and Victor Mancini. Philip Hronek goes off the ice, and Victor Mancini comes on. Now, I'm assuming that Sherwood was the extra attacker, so that's where the kind of mishap happened. But if you know you're pulling the goalie anyways, put out your best forwards who's going to score a goal. Victor Mancini, playing his first game of the season, is not the answer. Quinn Hughes was not great tonight. Let's just call it for what it is. I don't really know how to react to that because last season, even if the Canucks were playing bad, Quinn Hughes was playing good. That's kind of how I felt after the Calgary game where he didn't get a point. I thought he played good. He wasn't like outstanding. It wasn't first star of the night like he was last season. Against Edmonton, he got isolated. He got shut down, whatever. It's one game against Edmonton. But now, back-to-back games. Now against the St. Louis Blues. Stupid turnovers behind his own net. Turnovers just in the defensive end that we're just not used to seeing with him. I'm not going to make any premature claims or statements on Quinn Hughes and how he feels with this Canucks team, but he needs to be better. The rest of the D-core was mediocre. Tyler Myers with a stupid turnover on the penalty kill. Like, make a play on the puck. Why are you trying to handle it behind your own net on the penalty kill? Kevin Lankinen, I'm not going to lie, that first goal, maybe should have had. Maybe. Other than that, he was left out to dry. I don't know. There's a couple goals where he didn't really react well. Like the first goal, he kind of just squared up with the shooter and he didn't like put an arm out or anything. Same thing on the not Robert Thomas, the Braden Shen goal. Kind of just squared up and didn't put a glove up or anything. So I know things happen quickly, so it's not really his fault. I'm not going to blame Lankinen for any of this. Mancini was whatever. Elias Pettersson was pretty good, actually. He was probably the best defenseman tonight. Maybe behind Marcus Pettersson, but I'd give the edge to Elias. It's game 3. It's only game 3. But now you go on the road. You play Dallas on Thursday in Dallas. Then you play Chicago in Chicago on Friday. The Dallas game becomes all the more important. And if they lose that Dallas game, the pressure that these guys are going to be on, that these guys are going to be under in Chicago on Friday against a Chicago team who is scoring goals this season on the second half of a back-to-back, there's going to be a ton of pressure if they don't win in Dallas on Thursday. The penalties that these guys take, I mean, it's not necessarily the type of penalty they're taking or the style that they're doing it. It is too many stick infractions, but it's the context, the timing of it all. But it's just the fact that when these guys get momentum, we get our first goal of the game, we get our first sustained possession in the offensive end, these guys will either allow a goal or they'll take a penalty. And what it does is it screws up the momentum of this team. And this team is not good enough to just pop in and pop out with good performances. They need to have a good full 60 minutes. We've only seen that. We haven't even seen that against Calgary. We had a good 20 minutes to end that game. That was not a 5-1. No, it wasn't a 5-1 game. It wasn't. The Canucks just got a lucky break with the Kevin Ball deflection off the back of his head that the referees didn't call dead. You get a couple more goals on Calgary, who had played Edmonton the night before. You play a rested Edmonton team, you get absolutely destroyed. You play St. Louis, who is somewhat rested, but again on a road trip, and you're at home, and you play like that. Unacceptable. Elias Pettersson, I wouldn't say I'm your number one defender. I am very lenient with you. Tonight was an absolute disgrace of a performance. Turnover that leads to the first goal. Penalty that leads to the second goal or third goal, whatever it was. You come back up on the ice and you do nothing about it. You get benched at the end of the second period. You start the third period on a new line. The new line produces, but not because of you. Yes, you threw the puck into the slot. Congratulations. I could do that for $11.6 million. It was because of Kane and Garland creating chances that line got any sort of offensive opportunities. What do you do? What do you do? What is the money for? Did you win some faceoffs tonight? Yes. Great. You're a center. That's your job. You had 0 shots until the third period where it was, a broken play. And to be fair, it was a very good save by Bennington. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. If you're not going, that means Besser's not going to be going. That means DeBrusk is not going to be going. Vander Kane's not going to be going. I mean, we saw it twice tonight where Kane and DeBrusk just took the puck themselves to the net because they're like, I'm not playing through my center. My centers can't do jack. I don't know. Have to get that off my chest. It's a game 3 crash out. I don't know what I'm going to title this video. It might be Game 3 Crashout or 11.6 million or something. I don't know. But that is going to be it for this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. The Canucks take on the Dallas Stars on Thursday. I will not be live streaming that game. My next live stream might be next Tuesday against the Pittsburgh Penguins. But again, I'll let you guys know on this channel as well as my TikTok. Link is in the description below. Like always, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. Peace.